live in few seconds.
அதே மாதிரி மைத்ரேயின்னு ஒருத்தவங்க ஜாயின் பண்ணாலும் உங்களையும் ஆட்
I
பண்ணலாம்.
think we are live. We are on live on YouTube. It says.
Okay.
Oops.
அமர் உங்களுக்கு நான் லோகோ அமைச்சிருக்கேன் பாருங்க, அந்த ஏஐ லோகோ நீங்க அதை மாத்திருங்க.
We are going to.
Okay.
Please start.
We are live now. Let us start the event with Tamil Thai Valtu. Everyone, could you please stand up? If you do not want to stand, please disable your video and go on mute. Thank you. Meena, can you play the Tamil Thai Valtu? From my computer, the sound is not coming. Okay, let me try one more time. Can you guys able to hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. You have to share the video, right? Audio. Can you play that?
I have. I think my computer sound is not coming. Can one of us play the Tamil Thai Valtu? Meena?
Send it to Ramesh.
The sound is not, audio is not coming from my.
Yes, send it to Ramesh. He should be able to play.
Yeah, Ramesh, can you play? I'm not.
Oh, man. I got a new laptop today, so I have to find out.
Juliet, can you play? I think you are co-host.
Oh. நான் ஏதாவது தப்பானதை போட்டு விட்டுற கூடாதுன்னு பாக்குறேன். வேணா பாடலாம் எல்லாரும்.
இல்ல போடலாம்.
Tamil Thai Valtu, I'll put it or some.
Okay.
Go to YouTube and get some.
நான் போட்டுங்களா? கேக்குதுங்களா?
போடுங்க.
போடுங்க ரமேஷ்.
கேக்குது.
கோபி நான் போட்டுங்களா? நான் யூடியூப் இது ஜஸ்ட் போன்ல இருந்து ப்ளே பண்றேன்.
Sure. Go ahead.
Thank you, everyone. You can sit up, please. I would like to invite Mrs. Meena Sundarapandian to give welcome speech.
வணக்கம். ஆண் உயர் வென்பதும் பெண் உயர் வென்பதும் நீநிலத்தெங்கனும் இல்லை, வாணிகம் செய்யலாம் பெண்கள், வானூர்தி ஓட்டலாம் பெண்கள், நல் ஏனை அசைத்தலும் கூடும், அதை யார் அசைத்தாலும் ஆடும் என்றார் பாவேந்தர் பாரதிதாசன். இன்றைக்கு பாவேந்தர் பாரதிதாசன் இருந்திருந்தா ரொம்ப மகிழ்ச்சி அடைஞ்சு பெண்கள் எல்லா துறைகளிலும் இருக்கிறத பார்த்த ரொம்ப சந்தோஷப்பட்டிருப்பாங்க அப்படிங்கிறது ஒரு ஐயமும் இல்லை நமக்கு எல்லாருக்கும். அடுத்த தலைமுறைக்கான தொழில்நுட்பமாகவும் இனி வரும் காலங்களில் பெரு வளர்ச்சி அடையக்கூடிய நிலையில் உள்ள தொழில்நுட்பமாகவும் தான் ஆர்டிஃபிஷியல் இன்டெலிஜென்ஸ் இருக்கு. அதை எப்படி நம்ம பெண்களோட பங்கு ரொம்ப கம்மியா இருக்கு அப்படிங்கிறது எல்லாருக்குமே தெரிஞ்ச விஷயம். இட்ஸ் வெரி வெரி ஸ்மால் போர்ஷன் நம்ம பெண்களை அதுல ஆர்டிஃபிஷியல் இன்டெலிஜென்ஸ்குள்ள இருக்கிறது. ஸோ வை நாட் வி கிரியேட் மோர் அவேர்னஸ் அண்ட் give more confidence for the women to participate and get into this field அப்படிங்கிற ஒரு சின்ன ஒரு கருவுல ஆரம்பிச்சது women empowerment and entrepreneurship for women அப்படிங்கிறத ஆரம்பிச்சு எங்களோட டீம்ல ஆரம்பிச்சோம். பட் இந்த ஒரு விஷயத்தை அமெரிக்கா முழுசும் இருக்கிற நிறைய தமிழ்ச்சங்கங்கள் இதோட ஆதரவை கொடுத்து நாங்களும் இதுல பார்ட்டிசிபேட் பண்ணணும்னு சொன்ன எல்லா தமிழ்ச்சங்கம் தமிழ் மன்ற உறுப்பினர்களுக்கும் லீடர்ஸ்க்கும் தேங்க்யூ. ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஆஃப் ஆல் நிறைய லீடர்ஸ் ஜாயின் பண்ணிருக்கீங்க இன்னைக்கு. ஸோ வி வெல்கம் யூ ஆல் அண்ட் ஸ்பீக்கர்ஸ் வி வெல்கம் யூ ஆல். In the session it's going to be for 2 days long session, but நிறைய interaction இருக்கும். Mr. Jyoti is joined and in the weekend full-ஆவே அவர் டெடிகேட் பண்ணியிருக்கிறாரு. So thank you Jyoti for joining and helping us out for this great session. ரொம்ப நிறைய பிளானிங் போயிருக்கு பின்னாடி. So அதனால we are expecting many interactions. attendeesல இருக்கிறவங்க எல்லாருக்குமே நிறைய போரிங்காவே இருக்காது. நீங்க ரொம்ப இன்டராக்டிவா செஷன் வச்சிருக்க போறாரு ஜோதி. நிறைய ப்ரிப்பேர் பண்ணியிருக்காரு அதுக்கு. So we look forward for a wonderful session today. நம்ம கவர்னர் கலிபோர்னியா கவர்னர் சொன்னது என்ன, அதாவது he has signed a landmark legislation. அதுல என்ன சொல்லியிருக்காரு அப்படின்னா, women on board of directorsல 2019ல படி அட்லீஸ்ட் 1 இருக்கணும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லியிருக்காரு. So the minimum requisite will increase to 2 in 2021 சொல்லியிருக்காங்க. ஸோ அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு நம்ம பே ஏரியால நம்ம கலிபோர்னியால இந்த ஏஐ ஃபார் விமென் செஷன் இனிதே அழகா இன்னைக்கு தொடங்கி இருக்கு. ஸோ I'll hand over to Indu for next leaders to talk. Welcome everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Meena. Next, I would like to invite Mrs. Juliet Andonisamy, our Vice President Admin. Could you please go ahead? Yeah.
Thank you, Indu. Thank you, Meena. அனைவருக்கும் வணக்கம். My name is Juliet. I'm the Vice President of San Francisco Bay Area Tamil Mandram for 2020. We would like to welcome you all on behalf of San Francisco Bay Area Tamil Mandram. இந்த மாதிரி இந்த சிங்க பெண்களுக்கு உறுதுணையாக இருக்கிற எல்லா சிங்க ஆண்களுக்கும் நிறைய ரொம்ப நன்றி. ஏன்னா நாங்க இந்த அளவுக்கு இவ்வளோ பெரிய பிரம்மாண்ட நிகழ்ச்சின்னு தான் இதை நான் நிஜமா சொல்லுவேன். ஏன்னா இந்த நேரத்துல கற்கை நன்றே பிச்சை புகினும் கற்கை நன்றே. எங்கேயுமே போய் நம்ம யாசகம் கேட்க வேண்டாம். படிக்கிறதுக்கு நம்ம நாலேஜ வளர்த்துக்கிறதுக்கு சான் பிரான்சிஸ்கோ பே ஏரியா தமிழ் மன்றத்துல மெம்பரா ஆனா போதும். இன்னைக்குள்ள கெஸ்ட் ஸ்பீக்கர்ஸ், சிறப்பு விருந்தினர்கள் மற்றும் பிற தமிழ் அமைப்புகளையும் சான் பிரான்சிஸ்கோ பே ஏரியா தமிழ் மன்றம் சார்பாக வருக என்று வரவேற்கிறோம். தேங்க்யூ. நன்றி.
Thank you, Juliet. Next, I would like to invite Mr. Ramesh Kupuswamy to talk few words. He is one of the coordinator for this program. Please go ahead, please.
அனைவருக்கும் வணக்கம். இந்த ஒரு நிகழ்ச்சி நமக்கு ஏற்பாடு செஞ்ச மிஸ்டர் ஜோதி அவர் சொல்லிட்டு இருந்தாரு, இது விமென்ஸ்க்கு எம்பவர்மெண்ட்டுக்கு ஏதாவது ஒரு பண்ணணும் அப்படின்ட்டு. ஸோ ஐ ஜஸ்ட் ரீச் அவுட் டு பே ஏரியா தமிழ் மன்றம். ஸோ இனிஷியலாக we had very participant பே ஏரியா மட்டும் இல்லாத இந்த ஜூம் டைம்ல we want to encourage all other தமிழ் மன்றம் தமிழ் சங்கம் to join us. So thank you all for joining this great session. It will be a 2 days interactive session. So you are going to learn a lot, and I want to thank Mr. Jyoti for putting all his effort. I know we had a session in August for the students. It was a very great hit, and whoever participated joined it. They asking for another session. That's a kind of advance we had this one. So thank you all for joining us. Let's
Thank you,
Bye.
Ramesh. Thank you, Ramesh. Next, I would like to invite Mrs. Prema from Charlotte Tamil Sangam to give few words about this program. Mrs. Prema.
அனைவருக்கும் வணக்கம். I'm Prema Sham, President of Charlotte Tamil Sangam. And on behalf of our Sangam, I'd like to welcome everyone to this workshop. I would also like to offer my gratitude and thanks to San Francisco Bay Area Makkal Mandram and its president, Mrs. Meena Sundar, for extending this invitation to our Sangam. Scanning through the agenda for the next couple of days, it looks like there's a lot of great content and speakers that have been lined up for us. A lot of work and effort has been expended to create this workshop, and I truly admire the selfless nature of San Francisco Bay Area Makkal Mandram in making this workshop available for other Tamil Sangams as well. And I'm encouraged that the topic of AI resonated with all of our members, women members especially, as evidenced by the registration that came pouring in. I'm also energized by the collaboration and sharing that happens among the Tamil Sangam in the US, and looking forward to many opportunities to collaborate in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Prema. Next, I would like to invite Mr. Jaysarathi and Pavitra from Greater Atlanta Tamil Sangam. Are you there? I couldn't see you in video. Could you please enable your video?
வணக்கம், நான் பவித்ரா, இந்த வருஷம் கிரேட்டர் அட்லாண்டா தமிழ் சங்கமோட கம்யூனிகேஷன்ஸ் டைரக்டர். ஸோ ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஆஃப் ஆல் நான் வந்து சான் ஃப்ரான்சிஸ்கோ பே ஏரியா தமிழ் மன்றம்க்கு வந்து I would like to heartily thank them and also welcome all the participants today. And special thanks to the entire crew who has put across a beautiful initiative. And thanks to Mr. Jyoti for coming up with a very detailed schedule for all the beautiful ladies who are waiting. So I don't want to take much of a time. I would just like to heartily thank everybody and congratulate everybody who's been behind the scenes and who are also going to be participating in the event today. Thank you.
Thanks, Pavitra. Next, I would like to invite Mr. Arun from Metroplex Tamil Sangam to give a few words about this program.
அனைவருக்கும் வணக்கம். மெட்ரோப்ளஸ் தமிழ் சங்கம் சார்பாக இந்த ஏற்பாடு வந்து மிக அருமையான ஏற்பாடு. ஒரு கிட்டத்தட்ட வந்து பாத்தீங்கன்னா ஃபியூ மெசேஜ் தான் வந்து நானும் மீனா அவங்களை எக்ஸ்சேஞ்ச் பண்ணோம். சச் அ குட் எனர்ஜி மீனா. ஸோ இட் ஷோஸ் அ குட் லீடர்ஷிப். உங்களுடைய டீம்ல இருக்கிற அனைத்து பெண் லீடர்ஷிப்பை என்னால் பார்க்க முடியுது. சுரேஷ் மற்றும் அனைவருக்கும் மிக்க மகிழ்ச்சி. நன்றி மெட்ரோப்ளஸ் தமிழ் சங்கம் சார்பாக. இந்த வாய்ப்பு தமிழ் சங்கம் எல்லாம் சேர்ந்து பண்ணக்கூடிய இந்த ஒரு கலாச்சாரம் வந்து ஒரு அருமையான கலாச்சாரம். ரொம்ப சந்தோஷமா இருக்கு. இதுல வந்து நாங்க வந்து ஒரு மெசேஜ் தான் போட்டோம். கிட்டத்தட்ட மெட்ரோப்ளஸ் தமிழ் சங்கம் சார்பா 60 பார்ட்டிசிபென்ட் வந்திருக்காங்க. ஸோ ஐ எம் வெல்கமிங் எவ்ரி ஒன், ஈச் அண்ட் எவ்ரி ஒன். த கோல் இஸ் சிங்கப்பண்ணே பெண்கள் இல்லாம ஆண்கள் இல்லை, ஆண்கள் இல்லாம பெண்கள் இல்லை. ஸோ அனைவரும் சேர்ந்து இந்த விஷனோட என்ன ஏதோ கண்டிப்பா அதை டீமா அதை இணைஞ்சு சக்சஸ்ஃபுல்லா வரணும் அப்படிங்கிறதான் என்னோட சார்பாகவும் மெட்ரோப்ளஸ் தமிழ் சங்கம் சார்பாகவும் வாழ்த்துக்கள். ஆல் தி பெஸ்ட், குட் லக் டீம், ப்ளீஸ் ராக்கெட். அண்ட் இந்த முடிச்சதுக்கு அப்புறமும் வந்து எனி சப்போர்ட் ஆன் entrepreneurship, on launching career, I'll be happy to help or mentor anyone on behalf of Tamil Sangam and also one personally. Thank you very much. All the best.
Thank you so much, Arun. Next, I would like to invite Mr. Kingsley from Michigan Tamil Sangam.
Yeah, Kingsley, can we also allow Maitri? She's an attendee. Kingsley.
Yeah. So first of all, I really appreciate San Francisco Bay Area Tamil Mandram for conducting this wonderful event. இந்த ஈவெண்ட்டோட பவர் வந்து எனக்கு எப்போ தெரிஞ்சிச்சுன்னா, when we collaborated with Meena and the committee members and we opened up this event for our Tamil Sangam, totally 52 participants registered. We did not expect this. எங்களுடைய ஈவெண்ட்ஸுக்கு நாங்கள் என்னென்ன ஈவெண்ட்ஸ் நடத்தினாலும் ரொம்ப அதை விட கம்மியான பார்ட்டிசிபென்ட்ஸ் தான் வருவாங்க. The first time எங்களுக்கு 52 participants வந்திருக்காங்க. That itself shows the power of this event, and that is a great feat. Meena and team, and also each and every one of the committee members here, I really appreciate your hard work. ஏன்னா a lot of planning வந்து இருக்கு. ஏன்னா I saw all the email chains going back and forth. நீங்க சர்டிஃபிகேட்ஸ்க்கு பிளான் பண்றது, each and everything நீங்க ரொம்ப டீடைல் ஓரியன்டா வந்து as a committee நீங்க வண்டர்ஃபுல்லா பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கீங்க. I really appreciate on behalf of Michigan Tamil Sangam and our executive committee. எங்களுடைய எக்ஸிக்யூட்டிவ் கமிட்டியில இருக்கிற ராதா வெங்கட்ரமணி வந்து ஒரு ஓரிரு வார்த்தை சொல்லுவாங்க. இன்னொரு இன்ஃபர்மேஷன், எங்களுடைய எக்ஸிக்யூட்டிவ் கமிட்டியில் வந்து 50% வந்து விமன் இருக்கிறாங்க. எங்களுடைய எக்ஸிக்யூட்டிவ் கமிட்டி அண்ட் எங்களுடைய இலக்கிய கழகம் அண்ட் அம்பாசிடர்ஸ் குரூப் எல்லாம் சேர்த்து மோர் தென் 50% ஐ வுட் சே விமன் இருக்கிறாங்க. அதை நாங்கள் காஷியஸாக இந்த வருஷம் நாங்கள் இது பண்ணியிருக்கோம். அதே மாதிரி எல்லா தமிழ்ச்சங்கத்திலையும் இதை நீங்கள் கொண்டு வரணும்ட்டு எங்களுடைய வேண்டுகோள். நன்றி. ராதா, இப்போ உங்களுக்கு.
கிங்ஸ்லி, ராதா.
ராதா அவங்கள பேனலிஸ்ட்ல இருக்காங்க, ஸ்பாட்லைட்ல.
ஸ்பாட்லைட் ஐ வில் டு. யா, ஷீஸ் இன் ஸ்பாட்லைட்.
அனைவருக்கும் வணக்கம். இந்த மிச்சிகன் தமிழ் சங்கத்தோட ஈவென்ட் கோஆர்டினேட்டரா இந்த வருஷம் நான் பொறுப்பேற்றிருக்கேன். இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு பே ஏரியா தமிழ் சங்கம் நடத்துற ஃபங்க்ஷன்ல இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு சிறப்பான ஒரு பட்டறையில சேர்ந்துக்கிறதுல நானும் ரொம்ப மகிழ்ச்சி கொள்றேன். இதுல இருந்து எல்லா பெண்கள் 50க்கும் மேற்பட்ட பெண்கள் இதுல வந்து பங்கேற்கிறாங்க. அதனால எங்களுக்கு ரொம்ப மகிழ்ச்சியா இருக்கு. இது வந்து எல்லா தமிழ் சங்கமும் கலந்து இந்த நடத்துறதுனால, அருண் மெட்ரோப்ளெக்ஸ் அவர் சொன்னாரு, இந்த மாதிரி இது ஒரு எல்லா சங்கமும் ஒரு கலாச்சாரம் சேர்ந்த மாதிரி ஒரு வித்தியாசமான ஒரு நிகழ்வா இருக்கும். ஏன்னா பல தமிழ் சங்கங்கள் சேர்ந்து இதுல இருக்கு. இதுல நானும் ஒரு முக்கிய அங்கமா இருக்கிறது ரொம்ப மகிழ்ச்சியா இருக்குங்க. நன்றி.
Thank you so much, Radha. Next, I would like to invite Mr. Sundaramurthy from Minnesota Tamil Sangam to say a few words about this program. Mr. Sundaramurthy.
Good morning and good afternoon, everyone, and a very warm welcome for joining this workshop session. I am Sundaramurthy on behalf of Minnesota Tamil Sangam. I would like to thank Bay Area Tamil Mandram President, Trimadi Meena, and all the team members who are arranging this AA workshop, and Mr. Jyoti Periyaswamy, MIT alumni and Chief Architect in AA Data Engineering. சில வார்த்தைகள் தமிழில். அனைவருக்கும் வணக்கம். இந்த கொரோனா தொற்று காலத்தில் பல நிகழ்வுகளை இணையம் வழியாக எங்கள் மினசோட்டா தமிழ்ச்சங்கமானது நடத்தி வருகிறது. பெண்களுக்காக இப்படி ஒரு அருமையான தலைப்பில் நிகழ்வு நடைபெறுகிறது என்பதை அறிந்து யாராலும் கடந்து செல்ல முடியாது. உடனே நாங்கள் இணைந்தோம். தமிழர் இலக்கியங்களையும் வரலாற்றையும் வெறும் 100 வருடங்களில் சுருக்கிவிட முடியாது. இலக்கியங்கள் நயத்திற்காக பொய்யுரைக்கலாம், நமது வரலாறு பொய்யுரைக்காது. தனது எச்சங்களை நமக்கு தெரிவித்துக் கொண்டே வருகின்றது. அதற்கு சரியான சிறந்த எடுத்துக்காட்டு கீழடியில் கண்டெடுக்கப்பட்ட பல்வேறு பொருட்களே. அவையும் 2300 ஆண்டுகளுக்கு முந்தியது. பெண்கள் அதிகமாக பயன்படுத்தும் சமையலறை பானைகளில் தமிழ் எழுத்துக்கள் குறிப்பிடப்பட்டுள்ளதை அறிந்தோம். இதைவிட வேறு சான்று வேண்டுமா? நமது பெண்கள் எழுத்து அறிந்து கல்வி அறிவில் சிறந்து விளங்கியதில், தமிழ் இலக்கியம் படைத்ததிலும் தான் எத்தனை பெண்கள். ஔவையார், ஆதிமந்தி, பாரிமகளிர், வெள்ளி வீதியார் என்று 50ற்கும் அதிகமான பெண்பார் புலவர்கள். தனக்குரிய தரவுகளை வைத்து நன்மை தீமைகளை அறிந்து முடிவெடுக்கும் நுண்ணறிவு ஆர்டிபிஷியல் இன்டெலிஜென்ஸ் எனில், தமிழர் இலக்கியத்தின் வாயிலாக அறிந்த அதியமானும் தொண்டைமானுக்கும் நடைபெற்ற இருந்த போரை தனது புலமை ஆற்றலால் தடுத்து நிறுத்திய ஔவையார் எத்தனை நுண்ணறிவை பெற்றிருப்பார். நிகழ்காலத்தில் வளர்ந்து வரும் தொழில்துறையில் நமது தமிழ் பெண்கள் இயற்கை அறிவாற்றலோடும் செயற்கை அறிவாற்றலையும் பயன்படுத்தி எளிதில் மேன்மையடைய இந்த நிகழ்ச்சி பயனளிக்கும் என்று கூறி நம்பிக்கையுடன் விடைபெறுகிறேன். நன்றி, வணக்கம்.
Thank you so much, Sundaramurthy. Next, I would like to invite Mrs. Nirmala from New Jersey Tamil Sangam to say a few words. Nirmala.
வணக்கம். நிர்மலா சுந்தரம். சான் பிரான்சிஸ்கோ பே ஏரியா தமிழ் மன்றம் மீனா சுந்தரபாண்டியனுக்கு ரொம்ப ரொம்ப நன்றியை சொல்லிக்கிறேன். எங்களை கூப்பிட்டு இந்த இதில் ஜாயின் பண்ணுறீங்களான்றது. இது விமென் ஃபோரம், இது வந்து ரொம்ப முக்கியமானது. நாங்கள் இங்கே தமிழ் சங்கத்தில் பெண்களுக்கு நிறைய முக்கியத்துவம் கொடுக்குறோம். போன வருடம் 30வது வருடத்தில் கூட நாங்கள் செலிப்ரேஷன் பெண்களுக்கு தான் முன்னுரிமை கொடுத்தோம். அதே மாதிரி இது பண்ணுறது எங்களுக்கு ரொம்ப சந்தோஷம். ஜாயின் பண்ணுறதும் ரொம்ப சந்தோஷம். அண்ட் ஆல் தி பெஸ்ட் மீனா. எங்களுக்கு கூப்பிட்டதுக்கு நன்றி. அண்ட் எல்லாருக்கும் நன்றி.
Thank you so much, Nirmala. Next, I would like to invite Mr. Gopi from Sacramento Tamil Sangam. Gopi, could you please unmute yourself? Yeah.
அனைவருக்கும் வணக்கம். நான் கோபி ராமசாமி, சாக்ரமெண்டோ தமிழ் மன்றத்தோட பிரசிடென்ட். முதலில் வந்து இப்படி ஒரு நிகழ்ச்சியை மீனா ஏற்பாடு பண்ணதுக்கு ரொம்ப நன்றி. பிறக்கும் எல்லா ஊரிலும் சமம் என்பது நமது மொழி கற்றுக் கொடுத்தது. ஆனால் அது வந்து நம்ம நடைமுறையில் இல்லைன்றது நம்ம அனைவருக்கும் ஒரு நிதர்சனமான உண்மை. அந்த விஷயத்த வந்து போக்குறதுக்கு இந்த ஒரு நிகழ்ச்சி ஒரு படிகளா அமையும் என்பதில் எனக்கு சந்தேகம் இல்லை. சாக்ரமெண்டோ தமிழ் மன்றத்தையும் இந்த நிகழ்ச்சியில கலந்துக்க வைத்த மீனாவுக்கு சாக்ரமெண்டோ தமிழ் மன்றம் மூலயமா நன்றியாகவும் மகிழ்ச்சியாகவும் தெரிவிச்சுக்கிறோம். இதுல 100 பேருக்கு மேல பார்ட்டிசிபேட் பண்ணியிருக்கிறதா சொன்னாங்க. அந்த பார்ட்டிசிபேட் எவ்வளவு பேர் பண்றாங்கன்றது முக்கியம் இல்லை. அந்த பார்ட்டிசிபேட் பண்ண அனைத்து மகளிர்களும் இந்த நிகழ்ச்சி மூலியமா அவங்களோட கேரியர்ல ஒரு growth-ஐயோ இல்ல புது கேரியரை தொடங்குறதுக்கோ இது அமைஞ்சிச்சுன்னா அதுதான் உண்மையான வெற்றி. அது அமையும் என்பதில் எனக்கு முழு நம்பிக்கை இருக்கிறது. வணக்கம், நன்றி.
Thank you so much, Gopi. Next, I would like to invite Mr. Ramesh from Tamil Makkal Mandram to say a few words about this program. Ramesh.
எல்லாருக்கும் வணக்கங்க. ரொம்ப நன்றி எங்களை இந்த ஒரு வாய்ப்பு கொடுத்ததுக்கு. மீனாக்கு ரொம்ப ரொம்ப நன்றி தெரிவிக்கிறேன். அவர் அருண் சொன்ன மாதிரி அவர் மீனா கிட்ட ஒரே ஒரு மெசேஜ் தான் பண்ணேன், இது மாதிரி ஜாயின் பண்ணலாமான்ட்டு. உடனே எல்லாமே ஏற்பாடு பண்ணி உடனே லோகோ எல்லாம் அடிச்சு தென் ஷி ஆல்சோ சேஞ்ச் த ஃப்ளையர் எல்லாம் மாற்றி எங்களுக்கு ரொம்ப வாய்ப்பு கொடுத்தாங்க. ரொம்ப ரொம்ப நன்றி. இந்த விழா வெற்றிகரமாக நடக்க என்னோட வாழ்த்துக்கள். நான் என்னுடைய இது எக்ஸிக்யூட்டிவ் கமிட்டில இருந்து தமிழ் செல்வியை பேச சொல்லி நான் கூப்பிட்டு இருந்தேன். அவங்க வந்திருக்காங்க. நான் பேசுற மாதிரியே இல்லை, அவங்க தான் பேசியிருக்கணும். ஒரே ஒரு வார்த்தை மட்டும் சொல்லிக்கிறேன். நான் அவங்களை இங்கிலீஷ்ல ப்ரிப்பேர் பண்ண சொன்னேன். இனிஷியலி ஐ தாட் தட் திஸ் வில் பி நான் தமிழ் ஸ்பீக்கிங் எல்லா க்ரௌடும் இருப்பாங்கன்றதுக்காக இங்கிலீஷ்ல ப்ரிப்பேர் பண்ண சொன்னேன். ஷி வில் பி பிரசன்டிங் இன் இங்கிலீஷ். சாரி ஃபார் தட். ஆக்சுவலா நாங்க ரொம்ப தமிழை நேசிக்கிற ஆளு, பட் இருந்தாலும் நாங்க நான் ஸ்பீக்கிங் தமிழுக்காக இங்கிலீஷ்ல ப்ரிப்பேர் பண்ணியிருக்கோம். தமிழ் ப்ளீஸ் கோ ஹெட். தமிழ்.
எல்லாருக்கும் வணக்கம். A warm good morning, good noon, good evening to all of you, because we are from different regions and we are so pleased to have you all in this inspiring and informative event. I'm Tamil Selvi, an executive committee member of Tamil Makkal Mandram, New England. TMM Pati Solonuna, it is a charitable non-profit organization. It also seeks provide a forum for Tamil community, primarily in and around New England, Greater Boston regional, as cultural, social, and educational charitable organization. Engloda vision enna, we want to wider Tamil community that has made New England as its home. TMM has been successfully empowering women. In our case, we have 6 board members in TMM, and also we have a youth wing where we have 50% comprises of girls. So we are so proud of that. And also I would like to quote something here. Behind every successful woman is a tribe of other successful women who have her back. So what is women empowerment to me? Long gone are the days we need to educate women and have a gender equality. Now things are changed. It's a tremendous improvement that we are seeing in quality of life in women. So if you see around the world, women are ruling countries, and also if you see the Fortune 500 companies, there are 37 companies where women is CEO. So those are making us so much proud. And also this event, this is a fantastic event, and it gives great opportunity to support all women who have already marked a place or aspiring to be in field of artificial intelligence and next generation technology ecosystem. So we are more happy and pleased to have our chief guest, Mr. Jyoti Perisami, and also to all the Tamil Sangams around US who has made this opportunity to give this session to all women. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ms. Tamil Selvi and Mr. Ramesh. Next, I would like to invite Mrs. Indrani from Tamil Sangam of Greater Washington to say a few words about this program. Mrs. Indrani, you can go ahead.
அனைவருக்கும் வணக்கம். என் பெயர் இந்திராணி ராதாகிருஷ்ணன், வாஷிங்டன் வட்டார தமிழ்ச்சங்கத்தின் உப தலைவர். எங்கள் சங்கத்தின் சார்பிலும் அமெரிக்க தலைநகர் வாழ் தமிழ் நெஞ்சங்கள் அனைவரின் சார்பிலும் இந்த நிகழ்வினை நடத்தும் சான் பிரான்சிஸ்கோ வளைகுடா தமிழ் மன்றம் அந்த அனைத்து நிர்வாகிகளும் இந்நிகழ்ச்சியில் கலந்து கொள்ளும் அத்தனை பேருக்கும் வாழ்த்துக்களும் நன்றியும். பெண்களின் நிர்வாகத்திற்கு ஒவ்வொரு வீட்டிலும் வெளிப்படுவது மட்டுமன்றி பல தொழில் நிறுவனங்களின் தலைமை பொறுப்பில் இருக்கும் மகளிரே சான்று. கணினி துறையிலும் பெண்களின் பங்களிப்பு அளப்பறையது. தொழில் முனைவோர் ஆகவும் ஆர்டிபிஷியல் இன்டெலிஜென்ஸ் துறையில் முன்னேற விரும்பும் மகளிர் அனைவருக்கும் இந்நிகழ்ச்சி ஒரு அரிய வாய்ப்பு என்பதில் ஐயமில்லை. இதன் தொடர்ச்சியாக வாஷிங்டன் வட்டார தமிழ்ச்சங்கம் சார்பில் எவ்வித பங்களிப்பும் உதவியும் நல்க தயாராக உள்ளோம் என்பதனை இந்நேரத்தில் தெரிவிக்க கடமைப்பட்டுள்ளேன். நன்றி, வணக்கம்.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Indrani. Next, I would like to invite Mrs. Sivagami from ByteQuest. Mrs. Sivagami.
Thank you, Indu. ByteQuest is grateful to San Francisco Bay Area Tamil Mandram for providing an opportunity to be part of this Women Empowerment and Entrepreneurship workshop in AI. I would like to share a few words about ByteQuest. In today's data era, if you would like to establish a thriving business, you need to adopt AI and ML technology to improve customer experience, optimize business processes, be more profitable, and stay ahead of competition. But if you are a startup, small or mid-sized businesses, without a dedicated data engineering and a data science team, incorporating analytics into your business strategy should not cost you an arm and a leg. At ByteQuest, we provide cost-effective AI and analytical solutions, starting from building the right data infrastructure to capture, store, and govern quality data, running analytics to extract valuable business insights, and creating data visualization that help you to tell a data-driven story. For your AI and data needs, you can reach out to us at bytequest.net. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Sivagami. Next, we are having Senator Bob here.
Abu,
Meena, could you please see?
Yeah. So Abu can we welcome Senator, and then Abu would be talking about few words about him.
Yeah. Vanakkam and good morning and good afternoon to all. Honorable dignitaries and the most valued our community members, passionate women, and the future entrepreneurs. It's my tremendous honor to introduce our guest of honor for today's event. We are privileged to have such a great leader who has continuously made progress in the civic engagement. He has made so many achievements in the community and for the state. And he received many awards for his service. He was re-elected for his second term to the Senate from the District 10. He is the member of Environmental Quality, Housing, Judiciary, and Transportation Committee of Senate. He has raised a strong voice for consumers, low-income earners, women empowerment. For that, he received a Champion of Justice Award. For this solemnly women empowerment event, there could have been a more appropriate person than him to enlighten and enrich this event. I'm absolutely delighted to welcome our guest of honor, Senator Bob Wikowski, for this event. Welcome, Bob.
Abu, Senator in attendees, I could see one phone number. I couldn't see Bob's name here.
Indu, make me co-host. I see him.
You can see him? Okay, yeah.
Please make me co-host so that I can move him.
Yeah. Yeah, you're co-host now. Yeah.
Okay, 1 minute. Yeah. So I moved him.
Yeah, he's here. Yeah.
Bob, can you hear me?
Now I'll unmute myself.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Bob. Thank you so much for joining the event, Bob, because now we gave a very short notice and you graciously accepted our event. I know that's very, very short. Now you have a lot of commitments and you are very busy on schedule, but still, you spare some time for us, for our community. We really appreciate you on behalf of our community. Thank you so much for joining us.
No, and thank you for giving me a chance to say a couple of words here from California on the tremendous growth of artificial intelligence and the important role that women are going to play. As your other speakers were talking, I remembered 35 years ago in law school, a friend that was here in the Silicon Valley was saying that they were working on artificial intelligence just for like these engineers that were on the top end of businesses that they were working on. And I think the program sponsors and all the speakers you put together for the program today, I want to welcome the 10 COML organizations that are taking part across the globe in this important thing. But I want to really thank the women that are here, the participants that are there, that are taking that step to say, I want to, they have a desire that they want to learn more about AI and how it's going to affect us in the future. And this, technology has advanced from 35 years ago that when we first got into this game, and it's absolutely critical that women's voices be heard, and that we go through on the different subject matters that you guys are going to be discussing over the next 2 days, because at the end of the day, women use AI just as much as men do, and their perspective and their life experiences is just as important in its creation and its evolution. AI is expanding beyond just engineering. It's public safety, it's healthcare, it's agriculture, it's water conservation, it's wildlife management, communications, transportation, and the life as we know it in the 21st century. Across the bay at Stanford, from where I live, the Little Hoover Commission, which is an independent state agency in California, they estimated that by 2030, AI technologies could have an economic impact of $40 billion and more than 10 million jobs. So this is very timely that the organizations have got this together. And I know that people have said, we're in California. Some folks that say that we're ill prepared for the inevitable changes that are going to have to take place in the workforce and the fast pace that AI brings. And we want to be part of that partnership with the members that are here today and the participants. It's growing fast, but sometimes government takes a little bit longer to catch up, but we're going to do what we can, and in that deliberate process, keep up with the changing technologies. We worry about accountability, transparency, privacy, public safety, and all that. And those would continue to be governmental concerns at all levels, whether it's local, national. But we have to, and we provide some oversight for artificial intelligence issues while working to get that balance. And that's what we hope to get, is that provide a platform for that economic benefits and these innovations that they're going to have, and with also protecting the public. So through everybody's participation today in the workshops, you're going to come away with more knowledge and more understanding of AI and its applications, and it's going to hopefully spring things in all the different women participants of what the potential are and how they can exchange and share their amazing experiences throughout the world in these platforms. So hurrah for all of you who have been active in AI for a long time, and hurrah for all of you that are new to AI. And I hope the workshop really sparks this interest and compels everybody to learn more about it and influences all women in the field. So thank you for inviting me here, and I hope everybody enjoys the workshop.
Thank you, Bob.
Thank you very much. Yeah, Indu.
Oh, sorry, I was in mute. Thank you so much, Mr. Bob. Next, I would like to invite Mrs. Sivagami to introduce our guest speaker today.
Yeah. A couple of years back, Amazon's machine learning specialists uncovered a big problem. Do you know what it is? Their new recruiting engine did not like women. That's because Amazon's computer models were trained with historical data from the past 10 years. If you ask the question, who has been the most successful candidates in the past? The common trait will be somebody that is more likely to be a man and white. If the job candidate is a woman or a person of color, it's more likely that the model filters the candidate out. AI is only as good as the data it's programmed with. So the data and programming could be biased as a result of who is programming it. And a solution to combat bias in AI is to have more women and people of color in the AI industry to program the models. Our first speaker of today's Women Empowerment and Entrepreneurship in AI workshop, Dr. Shalini Kurapati, is leading the way in building human-centered and fair AI models. Dr. Shalini is the co-founder of Clearbox AI, an innovative startup company that provides human-centric and trustworthy AI solutions. She has a bachelor's in mechanical engineering at College of Engineering in Guindy, Chennai, and a PhD in technology, policy, and management in Delft University of Technology in Netherlands. With her multidisciplinary expertise, she leads the strategy, operations, and business development at Clearbox AI. Prior to that, Dr. Shalini successfully co-founded an AI consultancy and was in the pilot team of the Data Stewardship Project. She comes from a strong research background, and she is now translating her experience to fairness and transparency of machine learning algorithms. Let's welcome Dr. Shalini to shed some light on how we can nurture women entrepreneurship in AI and build fair AI models.
Good morning, everybody. It's actually good evening here. I'm calling in from Europe. எல்லாருக்கும் வணக்கம். எனக்கு தமிழ் நல்லா தெரியாது. I'm actually from Andhra, but I have Tamil in my heart because I was born in Vellore in Tamil Nadu and I studied in Chennai and my parents still live there. So Chennai is very close to my heart. So I don't want to destroy the beautiful Tamil language. So namaste, everybody. And thank you so much, Sivagami, for inviting me. And I immediately was happy to be part of this workshop because it's such an important topic of why women should be there. And Sivagami rightfully expressed how artificial intelligence can, of course, be a revolutionary technology. But if women are not part of it, it cannot. We might not be included in this progress. So I'm just going to start share my screen, and I hope I can express my ideas today. So screen number 2. Okay, share. So are you able to see my screen? If I can get a thumbs up from one of you, I will be very, very glad. Yeah. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. So today, my objective is to not tell you everything about AI. I'm sure the other panel speakers are going to give you all about the technicalities. Today, I'm just going to tell you my journey of entrepreneurship in AI and why my motivation to start and why women need to be more involved in the AI entrepreneurship. I will not maybe say it so verbally, but I hope my story and my motivation can express that. So like Sivagami just said, I am the CEO and co-founder of Clearbox AI Solutions. I'll tell you a little bit of what we do in a bit later. So I have to move. Okay, I have changed the slide. You saw the slide change as well? Okay, perfect. Thank you. So I'm not going to go through my CV again. Sivagami was very kind to introduce me. I am the co-founder and CEO of Clearbox AI. And like Senator Bob was saying, of course, it's not just governments that are responsible for making sure that there are no bias and privacy issues. Companies can also do it. And our company is one of the examples that we can actually build trustworthy AI technologies. And I also have a very strong background in data privacy and ethics. And I think technology is very important, but also responsible technology is very important. That's our mission. And I have a very strong background in research and development, especially of how technology affects society and how we can all grow sustainably. And like I said, I studied in Chennai College of Engineering, which is really close to my heart. So about today, I just explained who I am, and I'm going to explain the motivation why I started Clearbox AI. Before Clearbox AI, I had a very successful AI consultancy firm in the Netherlands, and it was let's say a traditional enterprise. Consulting is usually traditional. That means you get an assignment, you do it, you get paid. But it's not scalable. It's not a product-based enterprise. So we were quite happy. But while doing so, we understood the challenges of AI as well. Like a lot of people want to experiment with it, but once you want to use it for real business solutions, there were a lot of issues. And we also encountered the issue of the black box AI. I'm going to tell you about it. And that's why I moved from consulting to actually a real startup. And I will tell more about it. And then as a conclusion, I would like to also express the many challenges that women entrepreneurs face, maybe some even male entrepreneurs or other non-binary entrepreneurs might face, but this is absolutely my perspective. So please don't hold on to my word that maybe it might be different for others, but this is my story. So first of all, let's start with the problems that we encountered. And this is also one of the main problems of artificial intelligence. Most powerful artificial intelligence models are based on machine learning, neural networks, which are, you must have heard about machine learning and deep learning. And they are based on neural networks. These neural networks are so complex that if you give them enough data, they are fantastic at making any decision, recommendation, and categorization. Think about your Netflix recommendations, Amazon purchase recommendations when you search, So they just need a lot of data. So, and the way they make these decisions is very unclear. Even to the engineer who has actually made this model, we really don't know how they made these decisions. So this means that you have a decision, but you don't know how it has been made. And nowadays, AI models are so easy to get by, and you can actually purchase it from the Amazon marketplace, and you can train a model and get a result. But it actually increases the automatic decision making, but we don't understand what's happening. So, and that raises to a number of issues. First of all, how can you actually trust a model that you don't know how the decision has been made? And then we are going to talk about the ethics and discrimination. That's a big, big topic of this, if we don't know what kind of decisions happened inside. And more, these models are getting complex and more complex. You cannot really assure their safety and privacy. And we're going to talk about it. And more regulatory bodies across the world. I'm from Europe, so Europe is strong in regulation. And here the GDPR and is already asking companies, if you use AI models, you need to provide explanations. You can't simply say the computer said so. That's not allowed anymore. And even US is working on that. So, and in the US, for example, the FDA, the Federal Drug Agency, has come up with some regulatory guidelines. If you use AI in medicine, you actually need to make sure that the explanations are given to each decision, and you need to assure that this model is safe 100% every time. It has to be regularly monitored. And this is easier, much easier said than done. And let's look into the different issues of trust. Like, for example, a lot of banks use artificial intelligence. So you go to get a mortgage, and the manager runs some, punches some buttons, and you either get loan accepted or loan rejected. You don't get a why for the traditional AI models. So if you actually dig deep, if you don't know why it was accepted or rejected, you don't know whether it's really rejected because this person has a bad credit history, or it has been rejected because they are not white or not from the traditional wealthy demographics. So trust in the AI decision is a big problem because of this black box issues. And Sivagami just said about the Amazon recruiting algorithm fiasco, where you can actually, and the funny part was the curricula were actually anonymized. There was no indication of gender in the curriculum. The algorithm was able to interpret if it was a man or a woman just by the hobbies or the kind of schools they went to. So, and they just automatically excluded women from the recruitment process. And most recently, if you haven't heard about this, the Apple Card had a huge bias. Even the co-founder of Apple, Steve Wozniak, complained because he and his wife, both of them, applied for Apple credit card. And they had the same credit history. They always had a joint account, and he was given much higher credit rating than the wife. So the only difference between them was he was a man and she was a woman. And in medicine, For example, now AI is, especially due to this COVID crisis, and there's a lot of hope on artificial intelligence in medicine, especially in low-income countries, where you have lack of doctors, to improve healthcare processes. They're thinking AI is going to revolutionize. Yes, but this is actually from a real successful medical app that was released in the UK 2 months ago. You could put in your symptoms and you would get a diagnosis of whatever you have. And a person with a heart attack, a man, put in his symptoms, and immediately the app said, hey, I think you have an emergency, call 911 and rush to the hospital. And what happened to a woman when women put her heart attack symptoms? They said, hey, it's a panic attack, calm down. You just can, do it at home. You'll be fine. And you know why this happened? Because traditionally, even in medical textbooks, forever, the study on human body was done on a white male body. So the heart attack symptoms for women are very different from men. And if you look at even medical textbooks, they say that women's symptoms are atypical. How can 50% of the population's symptom be atypical? Now, this algorithm has just propagated the bias that it had learned from these textbooks or from the practice. So these type of things happen just because of these black boxes. It's almost like garbage in, garbage out. If you give bad data, you get bad results. And the worst part is they reinforce the bias. They make it worse. And just because, and we kind of think if a computer has made the decision, there shouldn't be any error, right? Because machines are objective, but apparently they are not. So this kind of awareness is something very important when we use technology. Having said this, I think AI is brilliant. It's going to bring about a revolution. It's going to help the society. It's going to reduce poverty. It's going to create a lot of prosperity. But if we are going to go ahead with this kind of AI, we have to be careful about how we design our algorithms, how we put things into perspective. And the other issue, bias is a big issue, trust is a big issue, and these things also, from a regulatory perspective, are very, very serious, especially if you're in the banking or healthcare domain. And the other interesting part, or let's say, is the safety. So the safety of AI is that since it doesn't look at a picture like you and I do. It doesn't look, oh, it's a cat because it has 2 ears. That's not how it reasons, because it's a black box. You just give it enough pictures. It just learns that this is a stop sign. What happens is now you can actually trick these algorithms. You can just put a little sticker next to a picture and it immediately gets confused. And think of a self-driving car. This was an experiment done by the researchers at the University of California, Berkeley. They on a stop sign, they just put a little bit of stickers, and it wasn't recognizing a stop sign, and it was recognizing just the bottles. So it immediately becomes a safety issue. So we have all these promises of the technology. So sorry for starting the day with such a, I didn't want to scare you actually, but what I was trying to tell you is that we should always, if there is a revolution, there is a saying, if there's a revolution, we should always have more scrutiny than less. So that's the background. So these are the aspects actually I kind of encountered during my consulting of AI, right? Not necessarily safety, but we started asking questions, and I was like, okay, so there's this huge hype about AI. Everybody wants to use AI, but can we do something to kind of combat these kind of issues? And that's when ClearBox was born. And in addition to these topics, let's say many companies right now, 90% of them are investing in AI. Everybody wants to innovate, right? It's a new technology. It has a great potential. So that's why if you want to choose a career, AI is definitely a hard field. However, only 17% of them are actually able to use them into real life. But maybe most companies outside Google, Facebook, they know AI as a chatbot or maybe a simple recommendation system. But a lot of companies are yet to gain the potential of AI. And some of the main reasons why they said, when we actually, as a startup, have spoken to a lot of companies, is the four main reasons they say. I don't know how I can trust this. I have regulatory issues, and I have issues of bias, and I think, how can you assure my safety? These are the four main reasons they tell us. So usually that's what happens is, when AI is adopted, some companies are a bit more scared of this, and they say, okay, I'm going to avoid it. I'm not going to innovate. And I'll just do a POC or a pilot about it, and then I'll leave it at the R&D labs. A lot of big companies also are doing this. However, some companies say, I still want to use AI, but maybe not the machine learning, not the black box models, but something, even a decision tree is artificial intelligence. I will use a simpler AI model, and I still use AI, because AI is everything, right? So it's actually not optimal. Like, we've done a lot of benchmarking tests, and neural networks always outperform, especially when the data is very, very high. So this is just to wrap up. This was my main motivation. Like, as a woman, as a responsible citizen of society, I was thinking, oh, I have this background. Why can't we do something about, creating a company that can help companies to actually adopt this technology? Because we are pro technology, but let's do it in a human-centric and trustworthy way. And so basically, we kind of offer the third option. So what we essentially do is, when we have an AI model and a data, the first thing we do is we do a model assessment. Even before a model assessment, a data assessment. How good is this data? Is it biased or not? Can you actually do something about it, etc. And then we do a model assessment. So if you are planning to utilize a certain model for a certain purpose, you can actually get a robustness check. How can we trick your model? How good is your model? You get a report, and once you're satisfied with the model, we'll actually help you to package the model, put it into production. And we have a product called the AI Control Room, which actually gives explanations to each of the decision that's made by your model. We help you to constantly monitor the performance, because what happens is, if you train your model with a certain data set, you get a certain accuracy, but if you actually put it into real world with new data, the same accuracy doesn't stand. So this is called the calibration error. We help you to reduce it and make sure that the training accuracy is the same as operational accuracy. Or if something goes wrong, you have a kind of an insight into the black box, and at a computationally efficient manner. So we have deposited our patent, and we are very confident about it. And we've released our MVP a couple of months ago, and we've tested with about 12 companies, and we have very good results. And we are having their second release in a couple of months now. And essentially, we do two things. One, to people who are very new to AI, it's like, okay, is AI for me? So we help them to understand, hey, should you use AI or not, or just a heuristic? And then we do a pilot with some of our partners. Or if you already have an AI model and you want to be responsible and human-centric, we actually help you assess your model and also help you with the ML ops, it's called. Like, it's the DevOps for machine learning. We do the ML ops and help them deploy and monitor. And all this, we do it with our fantastic team. We are two women, and we fight really hard to get the gender balance, but sometimes we also, it's really difficult because we have noticed that there's a lot of demand for AI jobs. Like, when we try to recruit people, it's really, there's a huge demand. So women out there, if you want to join AI, please, take a course, do a machine learning Coursera specialization, and you'll be ready to companies like us. And if you are looking for a job or something, write to us, please. Our values, I think it's also because we have a lot of women's perspective. We focus a lot on social responsibility and inclusion and respect. We really think that everybody should have a voice in the company while developing the models or while creating a project. We definitely encourage everybody, and we are a very flat organization usually. And this is how we work. And so far, our company is relatively young. It's 1.5 years old. It's a startup. And like I said, compared to an enterprise, startup is a very exciting field. You need to raise money, you need to hire people, you need to start doing all sorts of things at the same time because you want to grow. And when you grow, you have to collect metrics, go to the next seed of investment. So it's really a very dynamic situation, but we are very proud that in the last year, we won the best startup award in Italy. We got the European Union Seal of Excellence, and we finished accelerating with NVIDIA and Plug and Play. And we are very happy that we are now currently in the AI model assessment by the United Nations ITU organization. The white paper will come in a couple of months, and once it's out, I'll be happy to share it with Sivagami et al. And about how we can make robust AI models for healthcare. So having said this all sounds very exciting and glamorous being in a startup, but I would also like to say a little bit of challenges that I think as women entrepreneurs face. First of all, it's the relentless pressure and expectation, because if you start building a company, you do everything. You're both. I'm the CEO, but I am also the secretary. I'm also the mailman. I'm also the, let's say, the cleaning lady. So you do everything, and it's a lot of pressure, and there's a lot of expectations, because expectations from your staff, you need to pay them. From your investors, they're like, hey, what's up? What are your metrics this month? What's up? And then you need to go to the next fundraising round, and it's and there's so much pressure. And there's, whether we like it or not, there are a lot of societal expectations of gender roles, right? So that also comes to the leadership style. So if you're really decisive, there is saying that if a man is aggressive, he's a leader. If a woman is aggressive, she is I don't want to say what she is. So this kind of, let's say, stereotypes are still there, how much ever we would like to say they're not. So it's hard to be both decisive and polite, and you can't make everybody happy. So and also as a woman leader, you want to make sure that people that you sometimes you end up working twice or thrice as hard to make sure that you belong, you are there, you do this. So this kind of pressure is very high. And especially the work-life balance is a mess, because if you have your own company, you are you always do that 24/7. You don't have weekends, because it's your company. It's like, who are you taking vacation from? And and it's really high stakes. It's quite uncertain. Like, you don't know if it could make $1 billion or it could not do anything. So there's a lot of uncertainty. And especially it depends on what stage of your life you are. Maybe if you're young and you are like, you want to do this, it's fine. But maybe when you start a family, where you're thinking of stability and things like that, those times it feels a bit strange. But I have to be honest, I have 2 children, and it's really crazy. It's I decided to move this path, but the work-life balance is a big issue. And another thing which I noticed was the access to networks. Networks in the sense that, all these informal meetings. I know this person, I know that person. I mean, I don't want to be, let's say, too direct, but there are a lot of old boys clubs. And it's hard to get in. You are sometimes the outsider, and sometimes it's a lot of things happen through contacts, a lot of introductions. So you need to be there, and like the same thing with work-life balance. I mean, you can't leave everything out and be everywhere all the time. So these are some of the big challenges. But one of the other challenges that my other women entrepreneur friends say is about funding. We were fortunate, we didn't have issues with funding. But I also hear a lot that funding can be a bit of a concern for women entrepreneurs, although statistics say that women-led companies are much more successful than men-led companies. But in my case, fortunately, that wasn't the case. However, Having said this, I still think having your own company is very rewarding for a number of reasons. You can actually work on your passion. You can actually, put your knowledge and your motivation into something you believe, and you can construct it. And you are your own boss. Of course, it comes with a lot of asterisks, but it's really rewarding. Sometimes the highs are really high and the lows are really low, especially when you get an award, when you get a prize, when you sign a new contract. It's really exciting, and you feel like, oh, you're creating jobs, you're actually creating wealth, and that's very, very cool. So for women to overcome these challenges, some of my suggestions would be to actually, first of all, choose the right team. If you're able to choose the right team, they are going to be your backbone. They must be people who you can trust. And if you choose the right team, you can delegate. You don't have to take control of everything. You can lead, but tell them what to do. A good leader is a good delegator. Delegate and delegate. That's my biggest suggestion, I would say. And another thing which I learned the hard way is you have to grow a thick skin, because there'll be a lot of rejections, lot of everybody who says, yes, I like this, let's talk about it. Then you don't hear from them. And then a lot of disappointments and a lot of, because failure is a part of life as a startupper, when you start up this company, because you have these huge ambitions and you're so positive, but the world is not as positive as you are. So it's like, you need to constantly remind yourself why you are there in the first place. And also, especially women, don't doubt yourself, really, because a lot of people with half your intelligence are more confident sometimes, and you should really say that, hey, I reached this place because I deserve it, and I'm going to do what I have to do. And never doubt yourself. Obviously, don't be arrogant and not take constructive criticism. Absolutely not, of course. But stand your ground. You don't have to be bullied into doing things that you don't want to do. And most importantly, this is so important, you cannot do this alone. You don't have to be a warrior. You need support. It could be from family, from friends, or fellow professionals, somebody to talk to, somebody who you can just have your comfort zone, somebody who will embrace you and say, hey, that's okay, let's go to the next one. And this is extremely important to avoid burnouts. And you are a very precious resource to the community. And if you burn out, it's really very sad. So please build a support, and in the same way, support other women entrepreneurs as well. If they are going through a problem or something, hey, let's grab a cup of coffee, talk about it. And to create these networks, and let's create girl clubs, in AI, and introduce each other. And most importantly, be kind to yourself. Self-care is very underrated as an entrepreneur. And so this is what I thought I was going to talk about, about my little bit about my story. I think I'm more than happy to interact with you and answer more questions. And if you have further questions, please feel free to reach out to me, and I'm happy to speak with you. Or have a one-on-one on women entrepreneurship or AI, or how do we develop products, selling, and all the fundraising, all these things. I've gone through that, so happy to help. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Shalini. Actually, the participants have some questions.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I wasn't looking at the chat. I'm sorry. Do you want to choose the ones, because there I seem to.
If you could
let's limit to 1 or 2 questions, so we have to rest we can just answer them through the emails. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, we can put it on speaker mode, Indu, so that we can bring in the people who want to ask questions.
Sure. Shalini, could you please? Yeah, she done.
Yeah, I've done.
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, we have few questions in the chat window. I think it's been answered already. So if the Attendees could raise hand. We can unmute them so that you can ask questions.
Okay.
Meena, I have unmuted the people who has question already. They can ask their question one by one. Yeah.
Saranya, you had some questions, so you can go ahead.
Hi, Shalini. Thank you for the story. I love the idea of creating a girls' club. Thank you.
Yeah. No, but I don't want to be a radical feminist. I'm very much equal opportunities. I think men are so important. They have to be our allies. But we don't have enough women support networks.
Yes, I agree, and it's nice to share thoughts, and it's good. So I wanted to know more about the neural networks. Can you tell me some real life projects where you implemented in ClearBots? Is it like deep learning or just
Yes.
simple neural network?
Yeah. Yes, it could also be a random forest. Actually, we did a use case with a telecom company. It was not even a neural network. It was it was neural network, but it was not deep learning. It was a random forest algorithm. And what happened was it was still a black box. They had an issue tracking system. So what they did was they automated their issue tracking system, and it was supposed to send an issue to a particular department. And what was happening was it was just saying, hey, you need to solve this issue. And the operator was not following up on the recommendation because they didn't know why it was being sent to them. And they were just passing it on to the next person. That it's not mine, it's yours. So in the end, these issues were just being circulated and none of the issues were being resolved. So when we applied our technology, we actually were providing explanations. Oh, you were issued this ticket because 2 months ago, a similar issue was also given to you and you had solved it. And since then, the issues were clearing up much faster. This was a recent example. And the other one we are currently working is actually for a credit rating department of a bank. They had exactly the problem of they were using machine learning for their credit scoring system. And the regulatory organization did not accept that to become a product. And we actually helped them to unlock them to get into get through the regulators.
Got it. So the issue in the first place, was it related to the feature engineering? Is it because the feature selection didn't happen well, or?
Yeah, I'm very happy to share more about it, Saranya, because I see that. Can we do? Okay. Can we talk about that separately?
Yeah,
I can even share my.
Okay, then now can we introduce Mr. Jyoti?
Yeah. So thank you so much, Dr. Thank you so much, Dr. Shalini, for such a inspirational speech and sharing your challenges, and for all your motivation for young and aspiring women who want to enter this AI field. I would like to now introduce our instructor, Mr. Jyoti Periyasamy. So if you are in your mid-career or re-entering the job market, you may be wondering, how do I transition my career into data science? Even if I do not code today, how many machine learning and deep learning algorithms should I become familiar with? Scikit-learn, TensorFlow, Keras, and the list goes on and on. How much math do I need to become familiar with to become a data scientist? How about statistics and probability, calculus, and linear algebra? What are all the different career paths in data science? And how do I get my hands dirty with real-world data science projects? What kind of portfolio can help me to land my first job in data science or machine learning? And the most important question, how long will it take me to transition my career into data science? If you need answers for all of these questions, you have come to the right place. Our instructor of this two-day AI workshop, Mr. Jyoti Periyasamy, is the co-founder and chief AI architect of DeepSphere.ai School of Artificial Intelligence. Jyoti is a Stanford alumni who teaches AI for business in MIT CSAIL and MIT Sloan School of Management. He works in collaboration with the University of California, Santa Cruz and Udacity Nano Degree program members to offer advanced data science and data engineering program for real-world AI applications. Jyoti is the head of applied AI at Harvard Innovation Lab startup in Harvard University. He has over 17 plus years of management consulting and end-to-end AI with clients from health, energy, oil and gas, and public services. And let's welcome Mr. Jyoti Periyasamy to lead the AI workshop.
Thank you, Sagami. I hope you're all able to hear me. Can you all hear me?
Yes, yes, Jyoti.
Okay, good.
Shivagami, I think you didn't. You still sharing your screen. Could you please stop yours?
No, I'm sharing my screen.
Oh, you are sharing. Okay, okay.
That's my screen.
Oh,
That's my...
Okay, yeah.
All right, no problem. Okay, wonderful. I want to start thanking you, each one of you. I know we have done several of these events in the past, but still putting an event together and making that event live and bringing all the things together, it's not an easy task. I really want to thank Mr. Ramesh, Meena, Indu, the VP, I forgot the name, of San Francisco Tamil Mantram. It's been absolute honor and pleasure to working with you all. I truly enjoy this work. I want to thank you all. And I also want to thank you, each one of the Tamil Mantram and the guest speaker, participants, for your time. So taking some time to come and listen, it's not an easy thing. We truly appreciate. Within the 2 days, what we can do, let's just focus on that. Okay? So I think that's the key. So I want to start with the quote that I really love. I feel that that's what made me to this level wherever I am in my life. Please keep your phone on mute, please. So I'm a strong believer, knowledge is the power. Okay, what does it mean? Whatever we have, correct? You can have a lot of money, you can have a lot of political connection, personal influence, many things, correct? Whatever you have, you may look beauty. So all can come and go in your life, some part of the stage. Okay? Money can come and go, political connection can come and go, your personal influence can come and go, your beauty can come and go. But the only thing is going to stay until you die, okay, until we all die, knowledge. I am confident, I am proven, correct? I have guts to say, no one can stand in front of me in AI, nobody, okay? Doesn't matter who you bring, I can beat them. What is that? It's not my arrogancy, it's my knowledge, it's the power, the confidence that what I have, okay? So with that, I had met people like Mr. Mukesh Ambani. I had met people like who invested on Google, Bob Bosman. I worked with remarkable prime ministers, right? How did that happen? It's not I gave a big check. It's not that I went on asked for something. It all came to be by itself. It came to be itself because the way I wrote certain things, the way I spoke certain things. So what I say, knowledge is the power that can absolutely take wherever you want. Okay. At the same token, I would say that's the most difficult thing to achieve. Okay, most difficult things. Okay? So rest, you can work it out, but gaining deeper knowledge, making that usable in a way that you like, it's so challenging. So I would encourage, use these 2-day session to lay out a foundation, understand what it takes to be successful entrepreneurial or be a successful career person. I am here, I want to change my career, or I want to move to somewhere. How can I do this one? Can I? So that's the actual message I want to say. So again, knowledge is the power. With the knowledge, you can do anything. Rest all can come and go in life. You can believe when it comes, when it goes, it can happen. All right. So it's a 2-day agenda. So we have today and tomorrow. It's very focused on women empowerment. So how we help women to understand what it takes to be a successful person in artificial intelligence, either at the employment side or run your own business, okay? What it takes to get there. Again, raising capital, I do appreciate it's required, but I think before you get there, you do have to have a good amount of knowledge, okay? Without that, it would be difficult to sell anything. So let's focus on this one. So what I'm trying to say, the focus today, it's going to be what it takes to be a subject matter expert. I cannot promise that I'm going to get you $100,000 check, okay? That's not in my control. But I can promise, if you follow what I'm saying, if I listen to what I'm saying, if you do what I'm asking you to do, I am guaranteeing you, you will become a data scientist. You will become an applied machine learning engineer. You will become a data engineer. You will become an advanced computing professional, correct? This is what my promise. You do what I'm asking you to do, you will get there. No question, correct? You'll get there. So the 2 days scheduled as follows. So we start from 9:30 to 5, and there will be some assignments, quizzes, which is coming a long way. It's all in the schedule. It's going to come through this way. So coming to me, most of you already know, so I don't want to repeat this one. So right now, I'm actually helping the University of California, putting 3 advanced programs, okay? One is like, the traditional, like if you go out on Google, if you go to YouTube, there's ton of material, correct? I'm sick and tired, correct? What the heck is that, correct? So you feel that pressure, correct? So it's not taking you anywhere. What it takes to be a successful data scientist, what it takes to gain a confidence in front of a customer, correct? When you go out and talk to a customer, correct? Right now, I'm in 2 projects, correct? I'm a very large-scale AI transformation, In the same project, I have other companies involving. Okay, I don't want to name the companies. They're considered to be pioneer in the world, correct? They have no nonsense what they're talking about, correct? Why? They have no idea about all the things, how it works, correct? So all I can tell, correct? So I'm going to bring my real industry implementation, correct? As well as my startup experience, as well as my teaching experience, correct? So whatever I'm doing in different places, whether it's the University of California or MIT or Harvard Labs people, correct? Whatever I do, I want to bring all to life so that you can understand. So that's my focus today. Yeah, small introduction about DeepSphere, what DeepSphere does. There are 2 focus areas. One is in the space of the data science, correct? The value, like one of the participants asked a question, neural network, correct? So what does that mean, correct? So that clearly tells me there's a lot of lack of understanding what's neural net and how it's applied, what it's doing, correct? Yes, you do have theoretical knowledge, you studied, you understood, that's fine. But how do you apply in a real world business problem? And how do you solve practical issues? I think that is lacking. That is really lacking. So what DeepSphere is going to focus on, it's going to focus on 2 aspects. Like, so we have a platform which brings, like, take all your existing BI reports, analytics, and transform into data science, correct? You don't have to invest, you don't have to reinvent the wheel, correct? If you have a balance sheet, if you have a cash flow, you have a P&L, you don't need an accountant, correct? There's no need for an accountant to run the balance sheet. There's no need to run an accountant for a balance cash flow, correct? So how could you take all your existing report and run these reports in an AI platform which gives you back without a human intervention, okay? So we are building a platform, it's already live. So the platform is primarily focused on bringing existing reporting analytics into artificial intelligence, such as data science. And the second one is an LMS platform. The LMS platform is primarily focused on bringing personalized education. Like what happens? Education is the foundation for anything, everything, what we do, right? We are here to learn something. We are here to learn something. What are we trying to learn? So we are trying to get knowledge around data science, artificial intelligence, machine learning, right? All these things we want to understand, all right? So